Hi, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to talk about Arms and the Man by George Bernard Shaw. George Bernard Shaw was an Irish playwright, critic, and political activist. His full name was George Bernard Shaw. He was born on July 26, 1856, in Dublin, Ireland, and died on November 2, 1950, in Ayot, St. Lawrence, England. Shaw was one of the most important dramatists of the modern period and a Nobel Prize winner in literature in 1925. His play Arms and the Man was written in 1894 and first performed on April 21, 1894 at the Avenue Theatre in London. It was published in 1898 as part of Shaw's collection titled Plays Pleasant. The genre of the play is romantic comedy and anti-romantic drama. It blends elements of humor with a sharp social critique of war and romantic ideals. Historical and social context. The historical and social context of the play is very significant. It was written during a time of political change in Europe, and it satirizes the romantic glorification of war. Shaw set the play during the Serbo-Bulgarian War of 1885, using this setting to question ideas of heroism, nationalism, and love that were popular at the time. The play challenges traditional ideals about war and romance, showing how they often differ from reality. Let's have a look at the summary of this work. Arms and the Man opens in Bulgaria during the Serbo-Bulgarian War of 1885. The story begins in the bedroom of Raina Petkoff, a young Bulgarian woman from an upper-class family. She is engaged to Major Sergius, who has just led a successful cavalry charge in the war. Raina and her mother Catherine romanticize Sergius's heroism and believe in noble ideals of war and love. However, one night, a Swiss mercenary soldier, Captain Bluntschli, climbs into Raina's room to hide from the Bulgarian soldiers. He is fighting for the Serbian army. Unlike Sergius, Bluntschli is practical, realistic, and cynical about war. He admits that he carries chocolates instead of bullets, believing that food is more useful than heroism during war. This shocks Raina but also fascinates her. Raina and her mother decide to hide Bluntschli instead of turning him in. He eventually escapes safely, but this encounter plants the seeds of doubt in Raina's mind about her romantic notions of war and Sergius. After the war ends, Bluntschli returns to the Petkoff house to return a coat Catherine gave him to disguise his escape. Sergius and Bluntschli meet, and tensions arise. Sergius feels disillusioned with military glory and becomes jealous when he notices Raina's growing interest in Bluntschli. Meanwhile, Luca, a maid in the Petkoff household, is secretly engaged to Nicola, another servant, but she wants to rise above her social class. Luca boldly flirts with Sergius, pointing out his hypocrisy. Sergius, despite being engaged to Raina, is drawn to Luca's honesty and passion. Eventually, the truth comes out. Sergius is not the ideal hero he appears to be, and Raina is not as innocent as she pretends. Raina and Bluntschli admit their feelings for each other, recognizing their shared honesty and practicality. Sergius ends up engaged to Luca, who successfully challenges the class barriers. The play ends with the breaking of false romantic ideals. Bluntschli, the practical soldier, wins Raina's love, and Sergius ends up with Luca, showing that reality triumphs over romantic illusions. Now we will have a look at the themes of this work. Number 1. Romanticism versus realism. Shaw contrasts idealized views of love and war with practical reality. Raina and Sergius represent romantic illusions, while Bluntschli represents clear-eyed realism. 2. The futility of war. Through Bluntschli's character and the depiction of the war, Shaw shows that war is not glorious, but often chaotic, irrational, and absurd. 3. Class and social barriers. The relationship between Luca and Sergius shows how social class affects love and marriage, but also how individuals can challenge these barriers. 4. Hypocrisy and self-deception. Many characters pretend to uphold noble ideals, but secretly behave differently. Shaw exposes these contradictions humorously. 5. Transformation and personal growth. Characters like Raina and Sergius undergo change as they confront the truth about themselves and the world. 6. Love versus practicality. The play questions whether love based on ideals or practical understanding is more lasting and genuine. 7. Heroism and reality. Shaw deconstructs the idea of the hero in war, showing that bravery is often accidental and true strength lies in practicality and honesty. Let us now look at the major and minor characters. The first major character is Raina Petkoff. Raina is the romantic heroine of the play. At the beginning, she idealizes war and love, seeing Sergius as a perfect hero. However, her encounter with Bluntschli changes her worldview, and she grows into a more realistic and mature person by the end. The second major character is Captain Bluntschli. Bluntschli is a Swiss professional soldier fighting for the Serbian army. He is practical, witty, and realistic. He rejects romantic illusions about war, carrying chocolates instead of bullets. His honesty and intelligence eventually win Raina's heart. The third major character is Major Sergius. Sergius is Raina's fiancé and a Bulgarian officer. Initially portrayed as a brave romantic hero, he is later revealed to be vain, hypocritical, and frustrated with the emptiness of his ideals. His relationship with Luca exposes his weaknesses. The fourth major character is Luca. Luca is a bold and ambitious maid in the Petkoff household. She refuses to accept her lower social position and manipulates situations to achieve her desires. She represents rebellion against class structures. Now let us briefly discuss the minor characters. Catherine Petkoff, Raina's mother, who shares romantic ideals and is impressed by Sergius's heroism. Major Petkoff, Raina's father, a kind but simple man who represents the traditional Bulgarian upper class. Nicola, a servant who is engaged to Luca but is willing to step aside for her ambitions. He represents practicality and resignation to social hierarchy. Critical importance. Arms and the Man is a crucial play in modern English literature because it breaks away from romantic and melodramatic traditions. Shaw uses sharp humor and satire to expose the unrealistic ideals of war and love that dominated 19th-century drama. The play is also significant for its realistic character portrayals, its social critique of class structures, and its intelligent dialogue. It paved the way for more modern, thought-provoking plays that deal with real social issues rather than fantasy. In conclusion, Arms and the Man by George Bernard Shaw is more than just a romantic comedy. It is a brilliant social satire that challenges the audience to rethink their notions of heroism, love, and social status. Through its lively characters and witty dialogue, the play teaches us that reality is often more meaningful and complex than the ideals we cling to. Shaw's work remains relevant today as it encourages us to question appearances and embrace truth. So that was our today's topic. If you have any questions, you can ask in the comment box. Thanks for watching.